It is a great honor and a privilege to introduce Tuvia Schwartz. We're here in your beautiful apartment in Bnei Brak. And thank you so much for this evening, and you have an incredible story.
For me it's incredible, yes.
So if you could tell us a little bit about your family and how you survived the Shoah.
Well, our family, we lived, before the Shoah, we actually all lived in Antwerp, Brussels, Antwerp. All my siblings, everyone was born there. We were a family, we were 7 siblings, 5 sisters and 2 boys, 5 girls and 2 boys. And the parents were there. The parents, our origin of the parents are Polish, Galicia, Poland. And they somehow, I think, during World War I, I think they escaped somehow from Poland, and they came and settled down in Belgium, in Antwerp. Actually, my grandfather and everything were in Antwerp. I am the Tzair Bioter. I am
the youngest.
The youngest. And I can show you if you want. This is my picture before the Shoah, actually.
How old were you in the picture?
In this picture, I think I was 3 years. I don't remember exactly, 2-3 years, or maybe 2 years. I don't remember that.
And this is your house in the background?
This is how we lived in Antwerp, yes. Now, my family, all my siblings, my family actually can see here. We have the whole family, my parents, and I am the little boy. That's me. And actually you can see the difference between the age. I am a little boy, I'm the youngest, I'm a Ben Skunim, what is called. You can see, I think I was on this picture about 2 years, and all my brothers, the youngest was I think 10 years older than me, and the sisters were 15, 16, 17 years older than me. So of course I was the little boy, and I was very spoiled, obviously.
When were you born? In what date were you born?
I was born around 1937. And the point was that, okay, this started our family, and the war break out actually in Belgium was conquered in 1940, I think, around that. And during that time, when there was the war there, I think my parents escaped. They didn't want to see their baby. There was bombing or things like that. And we just went to France. I remember, I don't remember so much, but I'm told we went to France, and we were in Toulouse, in France. Probably it's more quiet there. I don't know how long we were there, maybe half a year, but finally we came back. And what I know is that we came back to our house. I think it was probably this one you saw in the picture. It was occupied by the Gestapo. And we didn't understand yet, at 1940, we didn't know yet what the Germans were doing. We know nothing there. And I remember that my mother took me along to this place where we lived, knocked on the door, the Germans came out there and said, look, my mother said, this is our house here, we want to, okay, go away. We went just into the Loari, just inside there. And I remember, I said I was a little child, I was 4 years, 5 years, saying, look, these German soldiers, I'm sure they don't need my levush, my bgadim. So they can give at least my bgadim, because they didn't give anything. They sent us away. And so I remember, I think at that time we went to live in Brussels. Because at that time, this I remember already, we were in Brussels. And in Brussels, 1940, we started to give the yellow,
Yellow Star.
The yellow star we were given. I also put it on, but we didn't feel anything. 1940, 41, it was quiet. It was curfew, I remember. We were not allowed to go out after 7, I think, but nothing happened. But later on, it started, I think, 41, 42, they started to collect Jews and send them away. But they didn't know yet where. They saying they megaisim otam, how do you say megaisim, for work. It's a war, they need young people, they take them to go work. And as the youngest sisters, actually 2 sisters and the boy and the brother, they were the youngest. They did not have yet Belgium Ezrachut because they were young, so they were called in. They just received, okay, come there, they go to work, bring all your suitcases and everything.
So if you could show the picture.
Yes, actually the three here. These 3 here they are very young, but at that time they were around 15, 16 or something like that.
See,
they were called.
What were their names?
What?
What are their names?
Their names is Avrum Isomo is the boy, then Dina, another is Manya. These 3. So they have suitcases and everything, they go, rucksack, and they go. It was a place in Mechelen, in Belgium, this is where they were concentrated. All the Jews, they were taken, they went to near Antwerp, there was Mechelen, and they were there. They sent us letters. In one letter they said, go visit Tante, I don't know, Tante Yeti, doesn't matter. We knew that this Tante Yeti lives in Switzerland. And this was like a remez, a cue to say, go away, don't stay home. Why? Because they started to see that coming in also families with children to this place in Mechelen. So they understood it's not just for working people. So this would give us a remez that go away. And at that point we started to think how to escape. My oldest sister, this is the one actually, this is the oldest one.
And what was her name?
Her name is Rosa. She looked like a Goya, she was blonde. She looked like a Goya, and she said, okay, she's going now to find a way how to escape to Switzerland. She left alone. She went by bus and by train to the borders. I don't know exactly. She spoke to people which will take us over the border. This was a problem. We could not go alone. And she came back, and we decided to escape. And of course, we went to the train station. We had everyone not together because the Gestapo were on the train station. I remember on the entrance, they were all looking who is going there. And we started to go. I don't remember exactly. I know one episode. My sister, they were talking. My father had a Shem Mezuyav, a fake name. He couldn't speak. And I remember we were walking it was in France. In France we were walking, the gendarmerie stopped us. Who are you? What's your identification game? And my father forgot his name. He stood like this and he couldn't speak. What's your name? And this Rosa, was a very She escaped. Oh, and she made it. Okay, that's his name. Okay, this is just an episode. So we arrived somehow to the border of Switzerland, and I think we met there a guy which was supposed to go out to the forest. We were going, this I remember, in the forest. We were going, approaching to the death, but suddenly we heard dogs barking dogs. And we looked from the farm, and the Madrid took us far away. We went into the bushes, all lay down on the floor. And this I remember, about 20 meters maybe from us, there was a patrol of the Gestapo with a lot, it might be 5 or 6 dogs, barking, passing us. It was a muzzle, they didn't notice us. My sister, they say that me, I was then 4 years, I don't know how much, they said I cried Shema Yisrael. And this helped us. I don't need to believe it, I don't remember that. So we came somehow to Switzerland and we entered there. And I know that they arrested my father, they put him to prison, they did not return us to border. And they say maybe it was because I was a little child was with them, maybe. Anyway, they accepted us to Switzerland. And they were, I think they were Rashmurtam, they were identified and everything. We went to Zurich, we had someone we knew them. My father was arrested and I think they left him out, but as they say, you cannot stay in the city. They built a few machanot, camps. It was like ghettos, camps, where they concentrated all these Jews. I know there were 2 camps like that. One is Morgin and the second one is Champéry. It happens that my sisters, already I didn't have all the sisters, we were now only, instead of the 7, we were 5. 4 sisters and me. Now the 2 sisters, the sisters were in Morgin and the parents were taken to Champéry and no children allowed. So what happened? They said, okay, I have to stay. They give me to a family in Zurich, to a Jewish family, to keep me. And you can understand a child of 5 years, spoiled child with all his sisters around him, they took me away from my parents. And that's it. No parents, no nothing. And it happened to be a family, an old couple, Jewish old couple. They didn't have children.
Do you remember their name?
I remember the name, yes. I remember. The name was Schlossberg. And they were good people, good Jewish people, but I think they were in their upper 60s, never had children. They didn't know how to treat a child, and surely they didn't know a child taken away from his parents. You can imagine my situation there. I was crying every night, I remember, and things like that. So that's... It happens to also that the Switzerland Jews, they did not care much about the war. I don't know, maybe you heard that. They went every day. The woman went, I think, to go with her friends every Sunday, to go to the cafe, drinking tea and meeting everyone, and everything went. They didn't bother much about it, and they also didn't know. I didn't want. My parents kept contact with this family long time after that, because they were very grateful. Actually, they took me, but I suffered. I remember only once my mother came to visit me from the Machaneh, from the camp, and I was happy and everything. When she went, of course, I cried and I think I just said, I just want to accompany her to the door, accompany her down to the stairs. And the woman, no, no. And I cried just to go down, to go with mother down the stairs. No.
And did the Swiss help your parents or help your siblings?
No, no, no. My parents they were in contact with my parents, but they were not in bad situation. Actually, these camps were handled like a kibbutz, exactly like kibbutz. My sisters, they were in a kibbutz, they're young people, they were going out to work, they came back like a kibbutz, eating together. My father, I know, was like a kibbutz, he worked in the carpentry shop. So everyone, like a kibbutz, worked there, maybe they were going out. It was no problem. They got food, they got everything, except that the children they didn't allow. And my parents, they were yekes. No child is no child. But so I was there more than 4 years, more than 2 years actually.
2 years?
2.5 years.
Did they send you to kindergarten or?
Yes, I went to school. I went to a Goyish school, anti-Semitic school. I remember the teachers. They used to cake me and to snip me on this, and okay, like other in school. They knew I'm Jew. I remember only it was, I think, before Christmas, and all the kita, they received eggs to. I think that they are painting eggs. So I also was busy, and I painted these eggs. And I remember that the Goyish was like, look at him, look at him, he's Jewish, he's painting the eggs. I didn't understand what's wrong, I didn't know. But I remember that, they noticed that, then they said to each other, look at him, they see?
Were there any other Jewish children in the school?
No, I don't know. I think on Sundays, the Yiddish community, we went to some Yiddish school, to Sunday school, where I think I learned a little bit Aleph Bet and things like that. But at a certain time, my parents decided to take me to their camp. So I came to the camp, and of course I was how you call this?
They were happy.
I was happy, of course. And then I saw already there were a few children there. I was not the only one. But my parents, they were afraid. They didn't show me. So they decided I should not sleep at home with them in the room. So there went some Goye, I don't know where they call this. She lived on the uphill there, a lonely house, like the Machshefot. There are children's, Gretel, and there is there is a story like
Hansel and Gretel.
Hansel and Gretel with the roof, and the Zia Machshefa. Remember, she was with her like this. And she took me there, she was very nice, but she put me to bed, she bring me to the attic, up there, alone on the attic, sleep there. I don't think I've slept there. Next day she showed me how to do everything, no more. I think I made a scandal, I was not ready, my parents kept me at a room, and I was happy. And I was like in paradise with children. This was a good time.
And how old were you at this time?
At this time I was already 8 years or something like that. But I remember my mother all the nights, she was crying because of the 3 children. We didn't know what happened. They already started to hear what's happening.
And what happened to your 3 siblings?
We didn't know at that time, nothing at that time. So the war finished 1945.
You hadn't heard from them?
Of course not. At that time, sure, we didn't hear. But then my 2 sisters decided they don't go back to Belgium, and they decided they directly came to Israel. In 1945-6, they came to Israel. But we returned of course, to Antwerp. We returned there because we wanted to be there to see we are coming back. And people started to come back. They came back to the place where they left. So we wanted to be there. Remember, my father every day went to the Kehille there, I don't know, to see people coming back and maybe meeting one of the children and hearing from others, maybe they know something. It turned out, from the two sisters, nobody knew, and we never knew anything about them. From the brother, yes, we had that he was in Auschwitz, he had a good position. He worked there in at the Machsanim there, something of Gadim.
With clothes?
Because I think he knew a little bit, because mother was, she knew sewing, Toferet, the way of Toferet. He was there until the last time. Until the end with the Rückzug. You know, the Rückzug, this was where they took all the people.
It's the Death March.
The Dead March. They called it Rückzug.
Yeah.
The Dead March. He was there with a friend. They went there. They still lived. They went there. And one night, this friend said to my brother, "Look, let's escape. We have now maybe a possibility. Let's escape." It was very dangerous. You escape where? You escape there in Poland. You don't have much. And my brother didn't want. And he survived and he came back. He told us the story.
And your brother didn't survive?
Never came back.
What was your brother's name?
Avrom is Sommer, Avrom.
And your sisters?
This Avrom, and the other sister was Dina, and the other Manya.
And you never heard what happened to your sisters?
No. Like millions others that we never heard. They went to the concentration camps, and the Rückzug, that march, I don't know what happened to them, and they didn't have koach, they were shot on the spot.
Many died. Many were killed. Many were killed.
They were killed or died, yeah.
Oh, so it must have been so difficult for your parents when they...
Oh yes, of course. But what could they do? So this actually, my other sister went back, the oldest sister. This actually was the oldest sister, which she was married before the Shoah, still in Brussels. She married before, and they also escaped, but she went back and stayed in Antwerp. We also went back to Antwerp. We stayed there until 1950. Of course, there was anti-Semitism there, terrible. I remember I went to school there, in the Yiddish school there, you saw the Teure school. And on the streets, the Schwartzim came and take us the kippot and and they say, go to Palestine, because started already in 46, 47, started the Moraot here, it was in the news, go to Palestine, we don't want to hear. I remember in my class, I wasn't a big fighter, I was a very thin boy. But in our class, I remember organized 3 friends in my class. They were stronger, and they said, okay, we go now on the streets. And if they are going to come to Chapin, you know what is Chapin starting to, they gave them, and they were angehackt, and then they beat them down. But going on the streets, a Jewish boy was he was intimidated by the Goyim, the Shkutzim. After the Shoah, I'm talking about years 46, 47, 48.
And what school did you go to in Antwerp?
You saw the Teure. This was the Jewish Haredi school.
And do you remember the Rabbonim, your Rabbonim?
Yes, I remember. I remember one Rabbi Willinger, this I remember. It was very good. In the morning we had only Hebrew school, Gemore, Nach and things like that. Willige was the afternoon, because we go home and then we go back to the school. It was the general Chilonim. We had Goyish teachers then. We learned mathematics, Cheshbon, geography and things like that. But it was very well organized, and after every year they made I don't want to boost myself, you see, but because when we returned, actually at the beginning we were in Brussels. I went in the Goyish school first and second grade. But I know nothing. Almost, I couldn't think Litpalel. I don't know how much I knew. And I didn't know French, because in Zurich it was German. But they put me in third grade. Okay, I go to third grade. I remember I came in the middle of the class, in the middle of the year, not in the beginning. And I remember I was sitting the last row. And at the end of the year, they're making exams, and the teacher comes at the end. You say, look, because they made the best one is because they're making a
party.
Yes, and they give gifts. First grade, the best grade. He said, okay. So he started to call the pupil this and this and this. You reach 50%, 45%, and they went until the upper. He is already 80% and 90%. They don't call me at all. My name. I said, okay, maybe I came in the middle. I'm not. They don't regard me. Then the teacher said, whose name I didn't call? I said, okay, my name. Okay, you are the first one. You got the best prize. The first prize you receive. I came there without French, without nothing. I didn't know. I don't know what happened. This was just.
And Tuvia, can I ask, most of the boys, or most of the children in the school, were they also survivors? They must have also been survivors.
Yes, they all were survivors.
Always survivors.
Very little, almost no pupils, very slow. A lot came from Romania, and that's survivors. They came. We were very, very good at school. I had best friends until I kept friendships with them until I came here a long time. Yes. And
Tuvia, can I ask, what happened to the rest of your family, your extended family, uncles and aunts?
Okay,
and
my mother's family, my father's family were all in Poland. Nobody was there. But my mother's family, there were 10 siblings. I don't have my grandfather's picture, but there were 10 siblings in Antwerp before the Shoah. All of them survived. They dispersed in all over the world. My grandparents, I think with 2 or 3 uncles, they went to London, escaped in London when the Dunkirk, maybe you know, when all the military went, they escaped also to London. A few, then I had uncles, they were in Canada, Brazil, Venezuela, spread out, but they all survived. Nobody actually was catched, all the 10 siblings.
And
they stayed all the time, Brazil, Montevideo, Brazil, Cuba, and all kinds of places where they were doing the Shoah, and they stayed there after that.
And are you in touch with the families?
Yes, of course. They came to visit in Antwerp. They came to visit in Israel. When we moved in the 50s, we went to move here. They all came here to visit Israel. All of them came.
And on your father's side, did any survive from Poland?
No, they survived a little bit because they had a brother, a few brothers in America. They escaped to America or before, I think, before the Shoah. They went to America. But in Poland, they were none of them were in Poland. And my grandfather, my friend's father, he didn't live because I am named after him already. So he didn't live with the Shoah. He didn't live it. Because I was the youngest. You can see the youngest. So we came here. This is the story, actually.
Can I ask?
Yes.
When you were growing up, before you came to Israel, did your parents speak about the Shoah with you? Could you speak about it at home? Was the topic, were you allowed to?
At the beginning, of course, the topic was what happened to the children. The children, maybe they come. We were expecting them long time after that. Maybe they are in Russia, maybe they are there, maybe all kinds of thoughts. Yes, they were talking all the time about that. Because maybe they were in Russia. But years passed, and this was. So my one sister still remained in Antwerp. The bigger sister, I showed you a picture. She lived there.
How did she survive the war, your bigger sister?
With her husband, I don't know. I know that she survived in Switzerland. She was not in the camps. They managed somehow to stay in the city. But nobody obeyed, actually. I remember also having an aunt, which they stayed in Switzerland, in Geneva, during the war. I don't know how they managed it, but this was the situation. I think that people that had more initiative and they somehow did not obey to the government and they stayed away. Illegal, somehow. They stayed there.
And your parents, did they stay the whole time they were in Switzerland in the camp?
The what?
All the time that they were in Switzerland, were they always in the camp?
Yeah, all the time they were in the camp. But this camp was not so bad. I mean, that good. It's like a kibbutz. They were all the Jews from the same name. And from there, we decided to go back.
What did you do for the Chagim? Did they have a shul, or did they have?
Yes. I don't know. I don't remember because I was not there. But they had everything. They had a very good social life there because all these, my sisters, when they were in Morgin, a lot of them are lately finally they ended up in Israel here. And they all of them kept connection. They were friends. Like very good social. They had a good social life there. There was no problem.
And in the camps, did they have kosher food? Did they have
probably
kosher
yes, of course. I guess so. Yes. There was the joint cared for us. I remember the joint brought Sfurim, all kinds of books, Tanakh, Sidurim, the joint. Yes, it was they kept Jewish life there.
And when you were in Antwerp, which which shul did you daven in, or?
In Antwerp at that time there were two kehilas. It was the Machzike Hadas and the Shomrei Hadas. Machzike Hadas, they were the more Charedim, the more the Datiim, the Agude and things like that. And there was the Mizrahi. There was two schools. One was the Yesod Torah, which was the more religious. Then was the Tarkemoni school. Tarkemoni was Mizrahi. So there were shuls, Osten Besmedrish, there were Terlistraat, this is the places where we were davening. Ostenstraat, this was very...
I've been to the shul.
Yeah, Ostenstraat.
And do you remember the Rabbonim?
No, because I was... When we left there, it was Bar Mitzvah. After Bar Mitzvah, we left already.
Did you have your Bar Mitzvah in...
My Bar Mitzvah was in Antwerp.
In which shul?
It was in the Ostner, yes. Then immediately, I think shortly after that, we decided to leave everything. And it was actually my father, he was there in diamonds, like everyone was. He was not a big soicher, but he was a metavech, you know. This was one of the diamond metavech. We left everything. We said, well, what are we going to do there? Because the father was not young. He was already, at that time, 50. He was 60. He said, well, I will come there. What will I do there? They said, okay, we will see, but we will. We came here. We received a small from Palagide. We received a small here in Bnei Barak, and it was one room apartment after. And then somehow we went to Shikun Gimel here in Bnei Barak. This was already a better place. And we were near the two sisters were living in Bnei Barak also. So and slowly, then of course I grew up, went to school.
What school did you go to?
In Tel Aviv. When I came here, I went to Moria school in Tel Aviv. This was a Yekish school, very frum Yekish. And this I learned until I went to grade 7 and 8. I mean, I finished. And then I went to high school here in Bnei Barak, and then to yeshiva also.
Which yeshiva?
Yeshivat Hadarom in Rehovot. And then came the time, army. And suddenly my parents said, well, we forgot what we came here. We didn't consider. Why? We came now from a Shoah. It was in 1950. When was that? 1954. It was not long time. We lost 3 children. Now, army, what's that? But it goes fast. It was 18, army. So I had my geese, how we call this, the in-law, my brother-in-law. He was a macher in Palagidus Israel. And he arranged for me, okay, go to the Nachal. The Nachal, because at that time, I don't know if you know, someone going to army, 95% you go out non-religious. Don't know if you heard about it at that time. There was no company, there was nothing. This was one of the reasons. So they arranged a Nachal. The Nachal, you know what is the Nachal? It was a Nachal from Palagude. So we were in a group, and actually, but it is fighting. Nachal is fighting soldiers. We made Tironut 6 months. Tironut. Today, Tironut is 1 month or 1.5 months. 6 months Tironut. And we were part in kibbutz. The kibbutz we went was Chofetz Chaim. Then later also engaged in kibbutz Shalbim. And then we finished middle school. Then I wanted to study. Now my parents, they didn't have. They came here without money, and at that time there was no business to make. It was tzena, the times of tzena.
Yeah, it was.
We received tlushim.
There was
two eggs a week.
Coupons.
Yes, there were 2 eggs a week.
Rations. It was rations.
Yes, there came so many immigration. They couldn't handle it. And I remember my mother had an operation. She wanted an apple. She couldn't get. And they sent her from Antwerp, the daughter from Antwerp sent her some fruits. There was not to obtain here. So I finished my, and they were looking for. I always was very much technically inspired. I remember when I was sick. It was before the war, before the Shoah. This I remember. I was sick. I think I had sha'elet. I was in bed, and I wanted toys. And that time was not much toys. What they gave me, you know, these big clocks that on top there is the alarm. Do you see this?
It's like a bell.
On the top is a bell, you know, and on the side you have to
wind it
every day. This they gave me, and I started to open it, and this was my best toy. And when they asked me later on in Antwerp already after the war, what do you want to be? I said, I want to be engineer. What is engineer doing? He invents. He's an inventor. He invents things. I think at 12 years in Antwerp, I made some for Shabbat to a clock that I put out. It was a very dangerous thing. I took out where where you open the light. I took two masmerim, and I put a masmer on that and connected it, and this clock pulled it up, and by this it extinguished the light. And it was very dangerous. I put out the electricity outside from this. And a family from us came. He was from Israel. He came. He saw that. What is that? That is dangerous. That is deadly. I thought this is good. I didn't understand what electricity means. So I was very much intended. I wanted always. I wanted to go to learn engineering, but thinking this and this. But finally, I went to Technion to study there. You know the Technion.
In
Haifa.
You went to Haifa, to the main Technion in Haifa.
Yes. There was no other ways of engineering at that time. It was not the University of Tel Aviv, nothing. It was the only place for engineering.
And were the other from boys there?
Yes, we had not many, but there were from, yes. There were from boys there.
And can I ask, Tuvia, growing up in Bnei Brak, do you remember Rav Kahneman? Do you remember the Ponevezh Yeshiva?
Yes, actually, I didn't tell, but when we were in Bnei Brak, but the whole family somehow, both sisters and we moved to Tel Aviv and around Stord Rothschild there. It was a very center of a lot of fromme people there. A lot of rabbis was there. The Belze was there, and Chortkev and everything. A lot of Stieblech around there. This is where actually I grew up. And this is where I got married, in Tel Aviv. Not here in Bnei Brak. I mean, I lived in Tel Aviv after marriage. I lived in Tel Aviv. Actually, my marriage, if you want to see, this is when I got married. This is the close family, sisters, brothers-in-law.
And what year did you get married?
What?
What year?
And what year I got married? 62. 62. And then 62 was still the Kalkala here was very bad. You know when it went up after 67. Until 67 was very Parnusa and the business was very slow. And 67 it boosted up. But I finished school and.
Did you get married was it in a shul? The chuppah, where was?
Of course, it was in Tel Aviv.
Which shul? Do you remember which?
Which shul I married? My father, he davened in Chortkev there. But I went a lot in Dizengoff, where what's the name? the Rebbe in Dizengoff. They escaped. They're very well known in Dizengoff. I went there a lot to daven. I like to daven there. So of course, the Aufruf was in then the marriage was in Ulam Tel Aviv. There was Ulam Tel Aviv. I continued to live there, but later on, actually, this is already my history from here. I worked here. My first son was born, and I decided that I went to work in the air conditioning field, engineering, and I decided some place that I want to go to America to develop more. So we stayed in America, in Borough Park, lived in Borough Park 3 years, and I worked there for big companies, learned a lot from them, and then came back here. And actually, at a certain time, I started my own business, my own engineering company. I was not and I stayed self-employed actually until now.
And when did you come to Bnei Brak?
We lived in a very small apartment in Tel Aviv. Nobody had money, not my in-laws and not my parents to give me something. So we had a very small apartment. I had a good job. I wanted to make a bigger apartment. In Tel Aviv it was very expensive. So we said, okay, let's come to Bnei Brak. And we bought here, this place, when they built this house. And since then, actually we live here.
So you've been here many years?
50 years on this house here, almost.
And do you remember meeting Rav Kahneman?
Of course, Rav Kahneman, Chazon Ish. I remember I was at the funeral of Chazon Ish, I remember very well.
And the Stapler?
Yes, of Stapler. Stapler we went to visit. I went there to Stapler already.
So you've seen Bnei Brak grow. You've seen it.
Oh, when we came here, when everything was small and no streets and no sidewalks, and it was not so strong. Frum also. Now it's very Swedish, very frum. Now what happens, one thing is that as engineering in air conditioning, I was working for all kinds of firms. I also worked for Yad Vashem. I was consultant for a few buildings in Yad Vashem. And one of the projects was in Auschwitz. They opened, I don't know if you're aware of them, that it was a Block 27, was given to the Israeli government. Make this your museum. So they turned this Block 27 into Israeli Museum of the Shoah, until now. I was appointed, my company, to do the design there. I went back to Auschwitz numerous times, went there, doing the operation to design and to observe. And this was for me, going to Auschwitz so many times, entering this Arbeit macht frei, somehow it was a circle. I was very much touched by this, that I have the advantage of doing some work there in Auschwitz, actually for the Shoah and for Israel.
Considering that your brother was there, you know that your brother was, and possibly your sisters could have been there as well.
He could be there also, yes.
And when did you first go to Auschwitz? When did you first go? Do you know?
To where?
To Auschwitz. When did you first?
To where?
In Poland, in Auschwitz. When did you first go?
To Auschwitz?
Yeah.
Oh, this was recent years, maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago.
That's the first time you went?
No, Auschwitz I didn't go. No, I didn't go otherwise. I was in 1917, which is actually 7 years ago. We made even before we had a tour, a group that we were to Poland and Auschwitz, and then in 17 again with Rabbi Prebischlan, we had a group where we went there to Auschwitz and as visitors. But as my work there, to go there, it was very. I was very much touched by this, that I go there and do some work in Auschwitz.
And what years were you doing the work?
This work was maybe 5 years ago.
5 years ago?
Yes. We made a design, a Polish company. Actually, Auschwitz is near, what's the name? What's the city near there? I went there many times, stayed there, and the Polish company was executing the work. I was in touch with them all the time.
Did you go to Krakow? You went to Krakow?
To Krakow, yeah, from Krakow, yeah. This is the place. We stayed, you go to Krakow, and from there it's 1.5 hours. We are in Auschwitz.
It's a big squat. It's actually it's incredible. It's like a circle. You close the circle.
Yeah, kind of.
And did you ever return to Antwerp?
Oh yeah, many times. I many times returned because during my work I traveled a lot. I had also work. I doing some work in Poland, this one. Then in Romania also had some projects doing some work there. In Czechoslovakia I had some work. So I went a lot to traveling on exhibitions. So I always in Europe, and I spent always the Shabbat I went to Antwerp to stay with my sister. So I had planned all my trips that I end up Shabbat in Antwerp. I went to go to the shul, meet with my friends, my classmates. And I'm talking now until 6, 7, 8 years ago I was going there. Actually, I would say the last time I was abroad for this, I very loved to be there. My sister, while I was standing there, I went to shul and was meeting my classmates. With some classmates I stayed very close until recently.
Did you ever go visit Michelin?
No. I tried, no, I didn't know. But I tried to go to visit, we lived in Brussels, which I remember the place. I lived Rue Georges Moreau, 48, Anderlecht. This is the area. I said, okay. Once with our family, recently we went to visit our family. I said, okay, we had a car. I want to go to see Rue Georges Moreau, 48. There was no ways at that. I took the maps, I started to go here, go there. Until I came there, I started to say around Schwartz, full of Arabs.
This is in Brussels.
I said, okay, let's forget about it. I don't know where it is. Going small streets, a lot of the Arabs, I see them around. Let's forget about it. So I did not go to this place. I didn't find it. But where I went in Switzerland, when we visited Zurich, I went to look where I stayed in Zurich with his family, at this place.
And it still remains? The home still?
This house remains. I took picture there, I remember. But of course the family was not there. This was maybe 10, 20 years ago. This I wanted to meet there. I had a very interesting thing. A few times we went to St. Moritz, you know St. Moritz, very popular place there. We went there a few times. Do you know the place? You were there?
I haven't been in St. Moritz. All the other, I've been.
Okay, I'm talking St. Moritz. There is a place, there was a hotel, a Jewish hotel, and there was a minyan. There was, he had a hotel, and this was the synagogue actually. At his hall, there we were the davening and Shabbos and everything. There was a Gabbai there. There was a Gabbai, okay, from Zurich. And we started to talk from Zurich. He said, okay, you are from Zurich. You know, I was in Zurich during the day. Oh yes, very good. What's your name? This and this name. Where were you living? Where? I said, I was family Schlossberg and Rotwandstraße. What? That's you? I came with you to talk, to play with you. You were this miscreant, this small time. You were so upset. I came to talk, to play with you there.
Amazing. What a small world. Wow.
And since then, wow, a businessman. When I came there, we are so good, became so close friends. You know, Zurich, a Zurich person. It's called. Forgot his name.
And you became close friends?
The what?
You became close, you became...
Yeah, we were good friends, of course. We felt... we forgot already this portion that we were there, but because I received a special attention there from him when I came to St. Moritz.
And Tuvia, if I can ask you, what... With your family, did you often discuss with your family about what happened to you during the Shoah? When your children were growing up, were you open it? Did you speak about it?
No, rarely we could mention, but it was not a topic that came up, no.
When did you first tell your children that you were a Nutzalei Shoah, that you were a survivor?
With my children, I told them as soon as they could understand, they knew everything.
And you remember the Achman trial?
The who?
The Achman trial. You remember when they had the from Achman, the trial?
Yes, of course.
Because a lot of things changed. People became more open after.
Look, let's put it this way: we were not so traumatic. I must yes, we were not in the camps. We were not in Auschwitz. The only thing which was very traumatic is the loss of the children, and you know, you get used to you get used to that. You get used to it because other families, children, my parents, yes, grandchildren, grandchildren, weddings and everything. I mean, there's other family. And I think that's the nature. You cannot let Abel all the life. But my parents, Bet Kvarot is Kiryat Shaul. Yes, you know Kiryat Shaul.
The cemetery in Kiryat. Yeah.
Cemetery. They one near the other. We put a stone between them with the children. Mentioning there, they were killed in the three names: Manya, Dina, Avru Meluza, murdered in this way. So it stands there together with the parents. So whenever we come there, on the yurt side, we meet with them. We don't forget it. By the way, I could show you something here. Let me see, where is that? The picture of our brother. she found this picture and she gave it to us, so we keep it.
Your sister found the picture?
What?
Your sister found...
Yeah, she had this picture, found this picture of her, and she put it in a frame and said, okay, and I keep it here also with all my children, all my family. He's the one here. This was after his bar mitzvah.
This is your brother who was on the death march?
What? Yes.
He was in Auschwitz and on the death march?
He was, yeah.
Is this the only... Wow, this is such an amazing picture. This is the original picture.
Okay, actually I have the same picture. I mean, he is also, but much younger. And the other sisters, as I told you, the two sisters and the brother, which were in Auschwitz. But this is a special one, which is later on, which she has, and we keep it here. It's a very good picture, very good. He's also here. He's younger, yeah.
So Tuvia, if I can ask you, what message do you impart, do you give to your children and the grandchildren? What advice and what message do you give?
Makes what?
What message and advice do you give to your children and the grandchildren and future generations?
It's difficult because these generations living today, they are in another atmosphere at all. I keep saying, I remember that when I was in Zurich, I cannot complain too much, but I suffered there. The nutrition also, let's say, this is for their family, was not so good. I remember I came from school. In the building, there is a box like big, or where the milkman can put all these things. I came there. The woman was not there because she went out to her hair make or whatever it is, and she left me a sandwich, a double sandwich, inside what? Jam. That's all. This was my lunch. Mm-hmm. My parents, they knew someone in Zurich, a woman that she had a grocery in her apartment. Probably they paid her something, and I was going to this woman there, and she put me some butter on the sandwich. Because I didn't receive much nutrition there. I remember also that my parents from the camp sent a parcel with rolls, lachmaniyot, and inside some chocolate, a few of them, for me, because they knew that I don't have so good things. But the family, she got very angry. They said, what's that? Why are you sending him? Why, we don't give him a what? She was hurt. But it was right. I remember, I don't want to say this because that's not nice. I don't really. After we came to Israel, every year, my parents sent to the Schlossberg a letter with Shana Tova, every year. And I had to write also some greetings, and I did it. But still, they didn't have the understanding what a child needs in this age. I remember only one thing, that at night they were sitting near the radio, and the woman was peeling an apple for her husband. Peeling apple, and I was looking. And I saw the peeled off. I took the peels. I started to eat. Okay. Then the next day, take that. I see you like this peels. Okay, take it.
Were they very poor? Was the family quite poor? Were they poor?
No, no, they were not poor. I think he was. I think that he was. How you say the pensia? He was
On pension.
I think he was retired because he was, or maybe not. But they were not poor. They had a nice apartment, and they probably had a job. They had a nice family there. No, they were not poor. They were not rich, maybe, but at that time, he was not a businessman about. So you know, when we came here in school in Moria, they sent us to inspection, medical inspections, and they made X-rays and this and that and that, and they called my mother. They said, "Look, he has something in his heart. Don't let him get to be strong thing. I mean, how to keep him not making much effort, because there was something in the heart." And they came to a conclusion. Look, at 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, you don't get actually good nutrition. It's not. I was very, very skinny. I was very skinny. So I had something in the heart. But Baruch Hashem, I survived.
And can I ask, Tuvia, are your parents, were they happy that they made the move, that they left Antwerp and they came to live in Israel?
I think so, yes, because we had here two daughters, and one daughter, she had 6 children, the other had 2. We were very
grandchildren.
Yes, we were very close, and the sister from Antwerp came to visit us. Yeah, they were happy here. They were idealistic, as we call this.
And Tuvia, what you see now, what happened on Simchat Torah, and what's happening now, what is your thoughts on
what?
How the world, how anti-Semitism is coming again, what's happening since Simchat Torah, since 7th of October? We're living through very difficult times again.
Yes, but what they say is it's like a Shoah. It's like Shoah. There's no doubt about that. Even I say it's worse. Some things are worse. What I'm saying, because the Germans, they killed. They did not mostly how you call that. After the death, mutilate and things like that. They did not. They wanted to kill them fast and everything, and that's it. What they have done, they do things much worse. To burn a child alive, to put him in an oven and bake him. This is what they've done here, right?
Did you ever think you would one day see what was happening now?
To see?
To see the anti-Semitism all over the world, that there's so much anti-Semitism now, all over in Europe, all over.
Yemei Mashiach, I think it's Mashiach time. That's what it looks like.
I couldn't agree more. Sure.
Because Milchemet Og uMagog, it looks like.
So Tuvia,
we cannot understand what's happening.
We really can't. It's Tuvia, I'm so grateful to you. I just want to thank you. So Tuvia, I am extremely grateful to you. We met in Kol Halev, from the bottom of my heart. I'm so grateful to you.
Okay. It's my pleasure. Okay.
It's been very special. You should only have mazel and brocha and nachas from your family, and good health and just all of Hashem's blessings. And I'm so really grateful to you, and it's been very special.
Okay.
And I want to thank you really.
You're welcome.
תודה רבה, עם כל הלב. Tuvia, this is a picture of your...
Yeah, this is my picture of my family, but where my finger is here, this is my brother-in-law, Chaim Gittler, and his wife, my sister, Miriam. And he was very active in Switzerland of helping and bringing out children which were left there in Goyish places. He were left in Minzarim.
That's convents.
Yes, and he went around all the places and took out children, and he managed a camp, children camp in Engelberg. It's all very known in Engelberg. He, together with my sister, and he was very active. He went to Zurich, and he told us during the war, he came to Zurich and saw the Swiss people sitting in the cafe, sitting outside and having a good time. He went there and he hit their tables, turned them off. He said, here in Europe, they are murdering our youth, and you sit here and drink coffee? And he turned out their table. He was active then in France and every place to take out children, to save them in Engelberg, and he helped them all come here in Israel. And this our community, a lot of people here are thankful to him still. He's like their father, because they came children which had no parents, no number. They were saved in their children, and he kept them in a camp and took care that they all come to Israel.
And this is your brother-in-law? This
is my brother-in-law. He was very active in the Poale Agudat Yisrael, regarding this in the children. Aliyat HaNoar, there was Aliyat HaNoar. He was Aliyat HaNoar of the Poale Agudat Yisrael. He was the chief. He's very known now because he had a bookstore, and now the books, Gittler book.
I've heard of it.
Yes. They are his sons, his family. His sons, they're managing this bookstore, Sifriati, which is Achim Gittler. They have a big business here in Israel. They're deporting all over the world.
And he was living in Israel?
He was living. He already passed away. He passed away very young also. But of course, yes, he was in Bnei Brak, living in Bnei Brak, and he moved to Tel Aviv. He developed a very big business of Svurim, Yiddish, Hebrew.
From books.
Yeah. Until now. They have the sons. They have a big business of the Svurim business.
And he brought out children that were in the monasteries, and
yes, he went there, and sometimes he called out Shema Israel, because he was talking to we have no Jewish children here. No one is a Jewish children. So he went there and called Shema Israel or something like that. So children were hearing this. It aroused them that they are Jewish.
They say Rav Kahneman and Rav Lau,
also, the same
Rav
story.
Rav Herzog,
they're all doing that.
And Rav Schonfeld.
Yes, they were all doing that.
So this is in your own family. And your sister is standing next to...
Yeah, this is my sister, but they all passed away because, difference for me and my sister, the 15, 16, 17 years difference.
Yeah, amazing, incredible. What a schut. So he must have saved many children.
Yes, there are so many people here. They are so thankful, and they kept with him. He was regarded as their father. He made them shidduchim. He cared for them, and everything. He was a special person. He was a very, very special person, I must say. But unfortunately, he had a stroke, and at 57, I think, he passed away.
Well, Tuvia, thank you so much. It's been such an honor and a privilege.